Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, dear
Hare Ram,
devotees.
Hare Ram,
So
Ram Ram,
today
Hare
is
Krishna.
Sunday. Okay, today is Sunday, and it is 9th. It is 9th of November. It is Margasesha Masa or Keshava Masa, Krishna Paksham, and the Panchami Tithi. There are no Vaishnava events in the calendar. There are some other events, but no Vaishnava events. So Remembrance Day. So remembering Krishna all the time. Smaranam. Okay, so but from the devotee's perspective, so it is every day is remembrance of Krishna. Okay, apart from that, no events, so we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vidura inquiring number of questions from Maitreya Muni, inspiring him to describe all those topics in an elaborated way. He was mentioning like the spiritual master, they are always inclined to his children and followers and the disciples, and they will describe, they will elaborate and give the transcendent knowledge, even though some questions are not asked. So likewise, was inspiring Maitreya Muni. Anuratanam Shishyanam Putranam Chidvijottama Anaprushtam Api Bruyuhu Guruvo Dinavachalaha. And he is asking about also the different kinds of dissolutions at the end of the millenniums. Tatvanam Bhagum Stesham Katida Pratisankramaha. Katida Pratisankramaha. There are how many dissolutions are there? Tatremam ka upasiran kavusvid anuserate. And then during the annihilation time, who will be saved, who are protected in order to carry out the activities or active devotional service activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kavusvid anuserate. So likewise, Vidra is inquiring about who would be left at the end of the millennium. Okay, so after saying that again, he is asking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities. And how the living entities would exist, what is their real identity and real form, what is the relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and what is the purpose of the knowledge that is in the Vedas, and what is the purpose between the Guru and the Sishya, what is the benefits, that relationship. Likewise, he's asking few more topics. Okay, so we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 7, and verse number 38. Purushasya cha samsthanam swarupam va parasya cha jnanam cha naigamam yattad guru sishya prayojanam. Purushasya cha samsthanam, of the living entity, Purushasya cha. Also, what is the existence of the living entity? Purushasya cha samsthanam. Swarupam va parasya cha. Swarupam, the identity. Swarupam va parasya cha. And also the form of the living entity and also the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swarupasya va parasya cha. Jnanam cha naigamam yattad. Jnanam cha, the transcendent knowledge. There are different kinds of knowledge. Ajnanam cha. and Naigamam, which is in the matter of Upanishads and the Vedic injunctions. Jnanam cha Naigamam yattad, that the same, yattad, and Guru Shishya Prayojanam. And Guru is spiritual master, Shishya is the disciple, Prayojanam. What is the necessity of those relationship between Guru and Shishya? So likewise, he has mentioned different topics so that Maitreya Muni can explain to him. Purushasya cha samsthanam swarupam va parasya cha jnanam cha naigamam yattad Guru Shishya Prayojanam. The translation. What are the truths regarding the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are their identities? What are the specific values in the knowledge in the Vedas? And what are the necessities for the spiritual master and his disciples? Okay, so likewise, he has put many questions in front of Maitreya Muni. So can I request Jayaved Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna. The living entities are constitutionally servitors of the Lord, who can accept all kinds of service from everyone. It is clearly declared, Bhagavad Gita 5.29, that the Lord is the supreme enjoyer of the benefits of all sacrifices and penances, the proprietor of all that is manifested, and the friend of all living entities. That is his real identity. Therefore, when the living entity accepts this supreme proprietorship of the Lord and acts in that attitude, he resumes his real identity. In order to elevate the living entity to this standard of knowledge, there is the necessity of spiritual association. The bona fide spiritual master desires that his disciples know the process of rendering transcendental service to the Lord, and the disciples also know that they have to learn about the eternal relationship between God and the living entity from a self-realized soul. To disseminate transcendental knowledge, one must retire from mundane activities on the strength of enlightenment in knowledge in terms of Vedic wisdom. That is the sum and substance of all the questions in this verse. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing the living entities are constitutionally servitors of the Lord. So who can accept all kinds of service from everyone? The Lord accepts service from everyone. Okay, so everyone are the Lord's Bhrutya. Tad Bhrutya Paricharaka Bhrutya Bhrutchanu. So this is described very beautifully by Kulashekara Alvar. Let me be Majjanma Palamidam Madhukaita Bhare. So Madhanugraha, Yetad Anugraha, this is again whatever some beautiful shloka comes. Majjanma Palamidam Madhukaita Bhare. Then Tadbhutya Paricharaka Bhutya Bhutyasya Itimam Smaralokanada. So Bhutyasya Itimam Smaralokanada. So likewise, he is mentioned, let me be the servant of, then only my life will be perfect. So here in the Vaikuntha Loka, every living entity, they are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and the servitors. Bruchanukampita Deha Grihita Muddehe. Bruchanukampita. In the spiritual world, everyone are his bruchas. Okay, Vasanti Atra Purushaha Sarve Vaikunta Muttayaha Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim. They're always worshipping the Lord in the Vaikuntha planets. Dharmena Aradayan Harim. Dharma, that is Dharma. Vasanti Atra Purushaha Sarve Vaikunta Muttayaha. They're all having the similar form as the Lord in the Vaikuntha planet. Sarve Vaikunta Muttayaha. Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim. In all times and circumstances, without any restrictions. They're always worshipping the Lord, glorifying the Lord. Okay, so that is how they have got association. They are consciously servitors of the Lord. who can accept all kinds of service from everyone. And here it is clearly stated that in the Bhagavad Gita 529, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Santim Ruchyati. And he is Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam. He is the enjoyer of all the benefits of all sacrifices and penances. Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the proprietor of all the universes. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, and he is the well-wisher of all Sarvabhutanam, all living entity. Jnatva Mam Santi Mruchyati, who understands that he would attain the peace. Santim, he would attain the peace. Santi Mruchyati. So that is his real identity. Therefore, when the living entity accepts this supreme proprietorship of the Lord and acts in that attitude, he resumes his real identity. He resumes his real identity. That is the original identity of the living entity. He is always the servant. At the moment, he is now enveloped by the three material modes of nature. And as soon as it is completely removed out, then he will become again servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yada rahitamatmanam bhutendri gunasayehi swarupena mayopetam pastin swarajyam ruchyati swarupena. Swarupa means his original form, his real identity. Swarupena mayopetam pastin swarajyam ruchyati. Lord says that once he is freed from all these three material modes of nature, he attains his Swarupa, he will go back to Godhead. Pasyan Swarajyam, and he also experienced all the Sat Chit Ananda. He also experienced Sat Chit Ananda. Okay, that is he will resume his real identity. When he is engaged in such a way, Tasmadimam Swam Prakritim Daivim Sadasadatmikam Dirvibhavyam Parabhavya Swarupen Avatistate. Dirvibhavyam Parabhavya Swarupena Avatistate. When he has completely engaged in such a way in the devotional service, understanding that Tasmadimam Swam Prakritim Daivim Sad Asadatmikam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is source of everything, then if he understands that he is only the Lord, then he will come to his understanding that he is the servitor of the Lord. Then Dirvibhavyam, it is very difficult to come to that point. Dirvibhavyam Parabhavya, Swarupair Amatistate. Okay, that is his real identity. And in order to elevate the living entity to this standard of knowledge, there is the necessity of the spiritual association. So in this material world, if we know, as there is an epidemic, when there is some kind of contamination is going on, everyone try to hide themselves. That is for the bad nature. But in the good nature also, such kind of epidemic. So this is Hare Krishna movement is like that. If anyone who comes in contact and if he is really infected with the Hare Krishna, then he will be spiritually inclined more and more. But first of all, he should be matured enough to be infected as well. If he has got some resistance that having that I still wanted to enjoy in this material world, if with so much of material desires, he cannot take the Krishna consciousness. So the spiritual association is like that. When he comes, it is so subtle, the necessity of the spiritual association. Okay, so coming, so this is where he get the real peace. Okay, so the devotees are there, who are serving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are so many. It doesn't matter whether the person is a sinful person or not a sinful person or a materialistic person, any kinds of person. If they come in contact with the devotees of the Lord, they will be purified immediately, provided they are surrendering themselves to the spiritual master. So this is Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhirushambha Yavanaha Kasadaiha Yenye Papa Yeda Pasraya Sriyaha Sujjanti Tasmai Prabhavishnuve Namaha. Sujjanti is completely cleaned. Prabhavishnuve Namaha. So they are so powerful, they will purify such kind of people from all kinds of, provided they are surrendering themselves. How do they surrender themselves to the spiritual master? Unless if they have got faith and see the spiritual master. Again, here one must be very pure enough. He should be a spiritual master is always engaged in the service of the Lord, not for his personal interest. Okay, so that disciples, followers, everyone are observing whether this person, my spiritual master, or whoever is speaking, doing this, guiding me, whether he is following the instructions are there. Everyone are cautious whether he has got any personal interest behind it. That is, everyone. It happens automatically. It is the nature of all living entities. As soon as they understands that, okay, this is completely only for the spiritual cause, then they are attracted. Otherwise, it automatically happens. That even though someone is saying something, all the spiritual matters and subjects, it would not have impact because there is a personal interest in that. It does not have an impact on the hearers. Okay, so here the bona fide spiritual master desires that his disciples know the process of rendering devotion, transcendental service to the Lord. Okay, this is again in the Guru Vastakam, the third sloka. Can anyone say that one? Third sloka? Guru Vastakam. Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shrungara Tanmandira Madhyanadav Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaniyam Jhatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanara. Okay, so engages his disciples in the service of the Lord. Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaniyam Jhatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanara. Okay, so that is Sri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shrungara Tanmandira Madhyanadishu. Everything, just cleansing the temple, decorating the deities, engaging themselves. It is not, if it is not possible to go to the temples far away, then we make our home as a temple and engage ourselves. Okay, and here that and the disciples also know that they have to learn about the eternal relationship between God and the living entity from a self-realized soul. So this is Tattvadarshinaha, self-realized souls are Tattvadarshinaha, who has seen the truth. That's why we have to surrender. Tadbhiddhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshintite jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. They have got all this knowledge. When we are, it is a simple example when we are discussing these topics of Krishna consciousness, automatically our time is spending here. We are not getting contaminated with the material things automatically. One side it is purification and also happiness, and also the knowledge is coming, and also we are keeping ourselves in the transcendental position. Okay, this is how one will come to the understanding. In due course of time, what happens? That time has taken the life of the body, and body is getting older, and then just moving him, passing through all kinds of material turbulences. Okay, so this is one can realize those things. But in due course of time, when he is coming to the Raganuga Bhakti, at that point of time, all the activities of devotional service, they will go without knowing to himself. Sri Ramanusa Divyaha Vayasha Yecha Manushaha Bhotikasha Katam Klesha Bhadante Harisamsrayam. All the materialistic problems are automatically mitigated. Bhadante Harisamsrayam. No more pains. So to disseminate that transcendent knowledge, one must retire from the mundane activities and the strength of the enlightenment in knowledge in terms of the Vedic wisdom. it may be applicable for some of the devotees. So retire from the mundane activities on the strength of the enlightenment in knowledge in terms of the Vedic wisdom. Sometimes we may be thinking that I may be retiring too early, I may be retiring too late. It is everything based on the strength of enlightenment in knowledge in terms of the Vedic wisdom, not the age. Okay, so as soon as one is enlightened, then he is matured enough to retire from the mundane activities. When he comes, once he comes to that point, he does not have to go back to again engage himself in the activities, mundane activities. He is a servant of Krishna, not the servant of someone else who is not a devotee, and just going there and then doing all the work, whatever they say. That is again स्वविट्विराहो उष्टकरैः संस्थः पुरुषः पशुः नैत्कर्णपतोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः. Once this is again statement by Saunaka the sages. They're comparing the people who are appreciating the people who are not devotees of the Lord. Such kind of people are compared to a dog, a camel, a donkey, and a vitviraha, stool-eating hog. One does not have to go back to mundane activities again and then appreciate them for his personal benefit. They are compared to these four kinds of animals. Again, how they are coming to that four animals. Again, elaborate description is also given. What dog means? Dog, it goes to the school to study and colleges and get some certificate and go to each and the door of all the masters to find his master. That is a doggish mentality. Prabhupada described that. And if one person closes the door for him, he will go to another door to beg for a job. He wanted to be a dog of some master. That is doggish mentality. Okay, so there are again explanations of the Vitviraha, camel, and also the donkey, how they are engaged. That is the free from the mundane activities and the strength of the enlightenment in knowledge in terms of the Vedic wisdom. That is the sum and substance of all questions in this verse. Okay, so it is very enlightening verse. Vidra is asking Maitreya Muni to describe. This is Guru Sishya Prayojanam. So here, Purushasya cha samsthanam surupam va parasya cha jnanam cha neighamam yattad Guru Sishya Prayojanam. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay, we shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Jai Pataka, December 20th, 1970, Surat. Okay, so can I request any unallocated devotee? Can I request? Dinesh Lester Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandat Pranam. Yes, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you. My dear Jayapataka Maharaj, please accept my blessing. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter, date, date, date the 16th instant addressed to me and the Tamal Krishna, as along with a Bengali letter from Sagar Maharaj. This morning I have received also your telegram and I have replied as follows. Reduce the period as they like. Payment is full on backends procession. Letter flows. AC Bhaktivedanta Swami. The idea is what we can arrange to pay them immediately, 6.2 lakhs if we get full uh, v- v- vacant uh, mm, procession. But I think it is not possible because the tenant cannot vacant within less than 6 months. We are not interested in realizing the rent from the house. We need the place for our own accommodation. Therefore, Bacon's procession is the essential. The best thing will be that let them give us procession of the ground floor, and we are prepared to pay them proper proportion, proportionately immediately up to 2 lakhs 2 lakhs of rupees or more. The balance will be paid as earlier as possible when we get the orders to store storage backends. It is open to them. Some arrangements should be made like that. You have suggested in your letter date December 16th that lawyers gentle lawyers has prepared to give us free service to the above transaction. It is welcome. As you have suggested, you can immediately form a committee with 5 or 6 men comprising Mr. Mohat, Mr. Billa, Mr. Podar, and Mr. uh, Bualka, and any two of you, preferably yourself and Madhu, Madhuvisa Maharaj. You can immediately form these fundraising committees and do the needful. So far, Sagar Maharaj is connected. I have already written them a letter care of the Mr. Pradhan as he gave the address. If he presence is necessary, he can remain. Otherwise, he may come back with the typewriter and my books. Just now, I have received telephonic message from Tamil. The book of fear is settled up and he is returning on Tuesday. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Any
Wow,
points?
Prabhuji. It's, they were planning to having the accommodation. Which one is they want to do the do the what is called that uh, mm, do the our bhakti process. They need proper accommodation. They trying to find out the place. They don't want to the rent it like that. Prabhuji, I found it one that, and other things is payment wise they doing the sincerely yeah, how they can manage, and other things is Prabhupada, all disciple is trying to sincerely follow all the instruction and to get that property. If they need someone, Prabhupada disciple, they can go and help them. I found that those, some disciple names they are written, Mr. Mohad, Dalad, one of the them, they can go and help them to, cooperate get that property, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for
Hare Krishna.
sharing those points. Any other comments? Jayaved Mataji, you wanted to add any other points, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji. Mataji covered, I think, the main the main thing is he's very, in a way, sincere. He's saying that he needs the accommodation for his disciples. So and then it needs to be balanced. But he needs that property, and they can't pay the full if they're only getting part of the accommodation. So that's my understanding, that he's very particular about how much money he can release and things like that. So he's saying that we can only release some of it for the amount of space we are going to get. We can't pay everything. So bit on that. And then I think he wants obviously a committee to be formed
like Mataji said, so that they can raise some funds to pay for the whole of their accommodation in future when they do get that. I think there was something else that I thought. Something else. Can't find it, but yeah. I other devotees may pick it up. I can't see it. Something. Sorry.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, you have highlighted a few points. Thank you so much. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So just here, on the few other days, Prabhupada was asking to possess one particular property. I think that one. So if they give the possession of ground floor, at least say it was intended for the 2 floors, but until the transaction is completed, so they can still say. But meanwhile, we wanted the possession of the ground floor and the 4th floor, something like that, so that we can carry out. So we have got something which is ours. We need a place for our own accommodation, so that is necessary. Okay, so that is one point. Here, Prabhupada is mentioning about the different personalities like Muhta, Billa, Padhar, and then Boalka, and then to form a committee. Okay, so this is required sometimes when organization is there. In order to carry out the organization activities, we have to take this movement into the society. So we need the people to mediate the ordinary society and also the ISKCON, the spiritual society. We need people like this, Mahtab, Bhilla. So they will be helping us, but we don't take their philosophy. We take that whatever their service, and then just how we can go and inject the spirituality within the society. And we also inspire these people to engage them in the devotional service, but we will not force them like Prabhupada has done in spreading Krishna consciousness. The people like the celebrities, like George Harrison. So Prabhupada never insisted him, but Prabhupada has taken the service from George Harrison and then spread Krishna consciousness movement and giving the freedom what he wanted to do how he can engage himself. And in a similar way, when we are mediating, we should not force the people who are in the middle, who are trying to serve the society's core purpose. We give little freedom and then encourage them how they can serve society, how they can serve, mediate between the spiritual and also the ordinary people, where we wanted to reach and inject the Krishna consciousness movement. Okay, so this is few points. But when a person is completely pure, like engaging themselves in this chanting 16 downs and following four regulative principles, get initiated, like Ambrish Maharaj in the Mayapur. That is so very nice inclination towards Krishna consciousness movement, completely surrendering. Okay, that would have more benefits. This is Yadacharite Sreshtaha. Sreshtaha is this Shreya Shrestha, the best. But we do not put the restrictions. Okay. Okay, that is few points. Just getting from my side. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter and from the announcements point of view. Today is Sunday. We don't have any evening activities. And again, from tomorrow, we continue our teachings of Lord Chaitanya and everything else as usual. Okay, and the devotees, if you have got any other events or you wanted to share anything, kindly share, kindly update. Otherwise, we shall move to the next part, Ramayana. Hare Krishna. Okay, no questions, then we shall move on. Okay, so coming to Ramayana. Shri Rama Rama Rame Tirame Rame Manorame Ramanama Satulyam Sahasranama Varanani. Just one Rama name. It is equivalent to the thousands of Vishnu names. Okay, so we have been discussing Rama's pastimes, how Rama is facing Kara and Doshna, all 14,000 demons. Okay, so here in the come to the point where Kara and his soldier, his charioteer, only those are the left. Everyone are smashed to pieces by Ramachandra. Okay, so here. So here, just Shurpanakha encouraged Kara and Doshana to come and fight and Rama and then kill Ramchandra. But what happened? All his Kara and Doshana and all of his entourage completely wiped out. Only just Kara is now left. Okay, so now in the last session we did not read up to killing of Kara. So still it is okay. I think we are in the few points where he is. Okay, this is the one, I think. So this is Ramachandra is mentioning, I am here to punish you sinners like you, O Khara. Pierced through by my arrows. You will today follow the path of those ascetics whom you have killed. Fight to the best of your ability. I will strike down your head like a ripe fruit. Okay, so we shall read from here. So this is the pastime how Shurpanakha has instigated Karan Doshna to come and fight Ramachandra. And because to fulfill her desires, she wanted to have Rama as her husband. Okay. Okay, so we shall start. Any request, dear devotees, take a turn to read 2 paragraphs each devotee. Jayavad Mataji, you wanted to start, Mataji?
Yes, yeah, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hara laughed. He was impervious to any good instructions. Beside himself with anger, the demon roared back. Having killed only ordinary Rakshasas, O human, why are you vainly ranting? Those who are truly brave speak nothing of their valor. Only the vulgar brag as you are doing. O disgrace to the royal class! Just as brass taken for gold reveals its baseness when placed in fire, so you have shown your baseness now that the hour of your death has arrived. Khara raised his heavy mace. Obviously, you do not see me standing here wielding my mace and holding the earth with her heavy load of mountains in balance, he bellowed. I am capable of killing you along with all the creatures in the three worlds. But enough talk. You have killed 14,000 Rakshasas. Now I shall wipe away their relatives' tears by slaying you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, Ramchandra in front of Khara, he has killed even Dhoshana and everyone else. They're all died. But still, Khara did not come to the senses. Still, he also saw some kind of bad portents, omens. These omens are the signs that what is going to happen in near future. So he would see that he is dead, but still, in order to fight Ramchandra, somewhere or other, he is just supporting his words to himself. Otherwise, he cannot fight. Okay, so I am capable of killing you with all the creatures in 3 worlds. This is he's bellowing. He bellowed. That is the nature of the demons. Okay, so now I shall wipe away the relatives' tears by slaying you. Okay, that is the demonic nature. Okay, we shall continue. Can I request next further Asha Mataji to read next 3 paragraphs, Mataji?
Kara wielded the mace and released it for Rama's destruction. As it coursed swiftly through the air, it shot out searing flames which burned the surrounding trees to ashes. With 20 steel-tipped arrows, Rama shattered Kara's mace to pieces. It fell to the ground like an angry serpent checked by uh, mantras. Rama laughed at Kara. Is that your best effort, O wild demon? It seems you are bold only in speech. Even as Garuda snatched nectar from the goats. So I shall snatch away your life. The earth will drink deeply your foaming blood. With your head severed, you while lie closely embracing the earth, like a man embracing his lover. Rama continued to taunt Kara, reminding him of the many sages he had killed. Closely watching the demon all the time, Rama said, when you are laid low by me in protracted slumber, this forest will again become a happy abode for ancestors. Your wives and kinsmen will grieve today, as you do the kinsmen of those you have slain. Try again if you will, for your death, for your death is near. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare-
Is that's all?
Yes, Mataji. Thank
Okay.
you, Mataji.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. So here, so Ramchandra, he has, whenever Kara has used his mace, and then Ramchandra with his arrows, he made that one to the ashes. That pieces, so many pieces. So again, giving the analogy here, um, it fell to the ground like an angry serpent checked by mantras. And now, previously Kara laughed, now Rama is laughing at Kara. So is that your best effort, oh wily demon? So here seems you're bold only in the speech. So in the fight, it is people they point out to their valor and their best efforts when they're fighting. It is one side they wanted to get encouraged as well. And again, they giving different analogies. Garuda snatched nectar from the gods, so I shall snatch away your life. Earth will drink deeply your foaming blood. With your head severed, you will be closely embracing that, like a man embracing his lover. Different analogies. So here, Garuda, in this one, snatched nectar from the gods. It is also used number of places in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And here, Garuda, once upon a time, Garuda's mother is Vinata. And Vinata and Kadru, they are the wives of Kashyapa Prajapati. And they are sisters only, but here, when they were having some kind of fun in a game, kind of a games, actually Kadru with the intention that she wanted to make Vinita as her servant in a cunning way, but Vinita took it as a fun, but actually Kadru, she took it serious and made her as a servant. But here, Vinita's children are the two of the children. One is the Aruna and another one is the Garuda, the two children. and they have hatched from the eggs. They have hatched from the eggs. And whereas Kadru, all her eggs are the snakes. And Vinita's eggs are the birds like the Garuda and Aruna. Aruna, um, so whenever she was waiting for when these eggs would hatch, so at the time, um, each egg should be waited for the 1,000 years. But actually, Vinita, in a curious, she has opened that egg half the way in the within 500 years itself. Then from that, the person who is half developed, he has come. His name is Aruna, and then he mentioned to me, why did you open this egg in the half itself, even though you were told that to wait for 1,000 years? And then now, see, look at me. My body is not fully developed. I'm going to the sun god as a charioteer, Aruna. So when we see Arunodayam, so the sun god charioteer is Aruna. So first of all, we see that the reddish light. Aruna itself, it is reddish. Okay, so he went on, and then he is also much effulgent. His body is so much of so likewise, he gone, and then he cursed Vinita that you will become a slave of someone else. And then because of this activity, immature activity. But and also says, and then she was not happy, and then but this curse will be freed. So once you wait until next 500 years until this egg also hatches, do not hatch this egg in between by your personal. And then that person who comes out of that egg, he is going to rescue you later on. He will free you from the curse. Okay, so likewise, Aruna leaves, and then Vinita. So meanwhile, all these things have happened, and then she became a servant of Kadru. Later on, after 500 years, the egg got hatched, and then where Garuda was born. And then as soon as he is born, and then he was growing like a big bird, gigantic bird. Okay, and it's strength. In other way, he is also kind of having the potency of Lord Narayana. Potency of Lord Narayana. So, and then he has been observing the Vinita's activities. So later on, once he asked his mother, "What happened, mother? You are always being acting like a maid servant to Kadru." And then Vinita has relayed all the story. And then Garuda, he wanted to relieve her from the such kind of agreement that she should not be anymore a servant of Kadru. And then Kadru, he went and asked, Kadru has put a condition. So I will relieve your mother from the condition that she doesn't go on, she doesn't become anymore my servant. Then what you need to do? You go and bring the nectar from the gods, and then I will relieve your mother from this promise. And then Garuda, he went there, and then that to bring the nectar. But Indra and the demigods, they did not agree for that one, because Kadri is a mother of the snakes. If the snakes become immortal by taking the nectar, and then what is going? It is all dangerous to the this world. So and then there is a plan, but he went there, and then he was bringing the nectar with his strength. And at the time there were even Indra also, but he could not completely check Garuda. And then he brought that nectar to Kadru, and then she has released Vinita from the curse. Later on, when Kadru was about to take a bath and consume this nectar, meanwhile Indra came and took that nectar part from Kadru. So he had got his plan. Okay, so this is the major things, but there are different angles as well when it comes to what has happened in the conversations between Garuda and Indra later on, and Kadru and Garuda. So there are more details of it. Okay, but this is how Garuda has snatched nectar from the gods. It is not for his purpose. It is to relieve his mother from the promise that to relieve from her curse. Okay, so that is one analogy here. Okay, that analogy is used a number of places in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. So, okay, and then further, Rama is further taunting Khara, reminding him of the many sages he had killed. So, Khara has killed so many ascetics in the forest. And these ascetics, they have expressed their sadness to Ramchandra, and Ramchandra told them that I'll free this forest from the demonic people. So now Rama is now addressing him. So when you're laid low by me in a protracted slumber, this forest will again become a happy abode for ascetics. So that Rama has given that promise to the ascetics. Okay, so later on further he is saying, your wives and kinsmen will grieve today, as do the kinsmen of those who have slain. Try again if you will, for your death is near. Similar kind of thing whenever Arjuna was speaking to Yudhishthira about Krishna, whenever Krishna has departed from this material world, reminding the Krishna's activities, he mentions one of the statement, oh my dear Yudhishthira, my dear brother. So that Supreme Personality of Godhead, what he has done for us in the assembly of the Kurus, um, there Dusyasana has dragged the Draupadi's hair in front of all the great personalities. Dragged hair, uh, and now what has happened? Whoever all witnessing that one, whoever all participating in that event, all of their wives' hair loosened by that Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has helped us in such a way. And here, Draupadi hair, it is again glorified because in the Rajasuya sacrifice, she has taken Avabhrita Snana. The king and the queen, they take the Avabhrita Snana. It is so auspicious one with all the perfume, so many other things. We don't go into detail about those things. Uh, Such hair is glorified, Draupadi's hair. Now that hair was dragged by Dushasana. And now whoever is participated, all of their wives' hair will be loosened by the uh, arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Giving such a kind of analogy. So this is here Ramchandra is mentioning, your wives and kinsmen will grieve today, as do the kinsmen of those you have slain. Try again if you will, for your death is near. Okay, so different analogies will inspire in different angles what is going to happen. Okay, okay, this further we shall continue. Can I request Usha Mataji to read the next 3 paragraphs, Mataji? Here.
Yes, Guru. Looking around for another weapon, he screamed, "Your okay." Khara's anger was again excited by Rama's words. He foamed at the mouth, looking around for another weapon. He screamed, uh, your mad talk is born of vanity alone. It is said that at the moment of death, one cannot discern, discern right from wrong. I see this to be true. Evidently, your mind is thrown into confusion as your death approaches. Khara saw a large tree nearby. He tore it from the earth and hurled it at Ram, exclaiming, "You are killed." Ram was unmoved. He met the fast flying tree with a of arrows. It volleys of arrows. It fell in splinters and a showers of leaves. Determining to kill the Rakshasa at once, Ram became violently angry. He was covered in perspiration and his face shone brightly. He pierced Khara with 1,000 arrows. Torrents of foaming blood ran from the demon's wounds like rivulets running down a mount, mountainside. Khara was maddened and ran furiously down, taking a few steps backwards. Rama took out a shaft resembling Yamaraja's mace. He placed it on his bow and imbued it with the celestial force of Indra's thunderbolt. When the Rakshasa was almost upon him, Rama released the arrows, arrow. It struck Khara full on the breast with a sound like thunder. The demon fell to the ground, a huge burning hole in his chest. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now the demons, whenever so anger was again incited by Rama's words, and then he foamed at the mouth, looking around for another thing. Now he doesn't know he is the only person left in the battle. Now he is now screaming now, and he just whatever he is seeing in the nearby, pulling a large tree and then throwing it on the Ramchandra. Okay, and Ramchandra he cut that one into the pieces. Okay, and later on, now Ramchandra is now um, determined to kill this Karat. Okay, and then now using his arrow imbued with the thunderbolt, Indra's thunderbolt, celestial force of Indra's thunderbolt. And then he has pierced his body. And now what has happened? The demon fell to the ground, a huge burning hole in his chest. Okay, so in such a way, there are three more paragraphs. And Gauringi Mataji, would you like to finish this, Mataji, please? Gauringi Mataji. Okay, Dinesh Srestha Mataji wanted to finish.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sure Prabhuji, thank you. As Khara fell dead, the uh, Taranas sounded their celestial drums as a shower of flowers flow upon Ram, while the gods epulated, saying, "These boiling Rakshas, un- unsellable by any other, have been slain by Ram in the less than 2 hours. His resolve and the power exactly assembles that of Vishnu." The sage Augustus, standing in the sky at the head of the large group of rishi, also spoke to Ram at Indra's prom- prompting, and for this very purpose of killing the Rakshas, uh, Sar- Sarvanga had you sent here. The rishis will now again inhabits these regions to practice their austerities. Lakshman then came out of the cave where he had hidden Sita along with the gods and the great sage. He uh, perceived Ram's achievements. Sita ran to her husband and embraced him tightly. She ran her cool, sorry, she, she ran her cool hands over his many, sorry, he many once carrying tears of joy to see him victorious over the Rakshas. As night fell, thousands of carnivorous animals and birds descended to the battlefield. Ram and Sita returned into their hut, and Lakshman sat nearby, keeping a lovely vigil. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Sorry, keeping a lonely vigil. Sorry, I pronounced wrong, Prabhuji.
No, Mataji, you have beautifully read.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Now, Karai fell dead. Now, Charanas, as soon as Rama and Krishna does something, and then all Charanas and the Gandharvas, everyone, they come and sing and dance. So, likewise, as usual, they come here. Their celestial drums as shower of flowers fell upon Ramchandra, while gods applauded, saying, Petuh sumanso divyaha kechareihi apavajjitaha. This is uh, Natanartaka Gandharvaha Sutamagadavandinaha. These people come and then sing and dance very beautifully when the Lord appears, when Lord is performing some kind of chivalry activity, killing the demons. Okay. And also here, Agastya Muni also came there, standing in the sky at the head of the large group of rishis, also spoke to Ramachandra. So here in the previously, when Rama, Lakshmana and Sita are going to the Sharbhanga Rishi's ashrama, at the time Indra was in his chariot, that his chariot with green steeds, green horses. He was nearer to the Sharbhanga Rishi's ashrama. So Ramchandra showed it to Lakshmana and Sita. And then later on, he went to the Sharbhanga, and Sharbhanga Rishi, he has directed towards the another sage. So that sage has taken him and taken Rama and Lakshmana and Sita to Agastya Rishi. Okay, and then in front of Ramchandra Sharbhanga, he has entered into the fire. Immediately he got a spiritual body, went to the Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, so remembering those words of Sharbhanga Rishi, Agastya Muni mentioning to Ramachandra. Now this rishis will now again inhabit this region to practice their austerities. Okay, this is the duty of a Kshatriya, to remove the bad elements so that sadhus can progress their spiritual life. Okay, now that has happened, and Lakshmana also came out from the cave and where he had hidden Sita. And now, along with gods and great sages, he praised Rama's achievements. Sita ran to her husband and embraced him tightly. She ran her cool hands over his many wounds, crying tears of joy to see him victorious over the Rakshasas. So now this is very important. Whenever husband does something and wife, she is aiding the husband. She ran her cool hands over his many wounds, crying tears of joy to see him victorious over the Rakshas. So Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Kirti Sri Vakshas Narinam Smritir Meda Dutikshama. And so I am the power of women. So women in the sense, the power of speech. Kirtihi, the famous, and Vaksha, the very beautiful feminine words. Kirtihi Srirhi Vaksha Narinam in the woman. When Krishna was speaking about the Vibhuti Yoga, he also mentions. And here, woman is the place, wife is the place for a husband, where husband can receive the peace, the Shanti. But as if the woman is like a most passionate woman, then husband does not get any peace at all. If he's in the mode of ignorance, if wife is in the mode of ignorance, then husband life is hell. So there is, and such kind of women they definitely go to. So again, there are different kinds of punishments. In the Garuda Purana, it describes in different ways. But here, a woman, it doesn't matter whether husband is a good person or bad person, a devotee or not a devotee. Her duty is to serve the husband. As simple as that. Without expecting anything in return. Because by simple her words, simple love, she can get everything from the husband. It doesn't matter whether the husband is capable or not. As soon as she is able to please him, then she will always happy. Okay, so here Sita Mata, so now by looking at Ramachandra, she is now very happy, tears of joy to see him victorious over the Rakshasas, and she ran her cool hands. It is not just simply giving the gifts, buying some gifts and giving flower bouquet. That does not show anything. Of course, some of the external things, but actually, it is the love between the uh, husband and wife that will make them stay together forever. And then, if it is in Krishna service, then it is the home become a temple. Okay, so further moving on. So as night fell, thousands of carnivorous animals and birds descended on the battlefield. Rama and Sita retired to their hut, and Lakshman sat nearby, keeping a lonely whistle. So here, so many, it is a feast for all these carnivorous animals because the foxes, the tigers, so many animals they will come and they have got a good feast. The bodies of so many of demons, they will eat enough sufficiently, and vultures, okay, to eat all of it is now their prey. So far, these people were killing, now they are eating their bodies. It is a good in one way, okay. And Rama and Sita retired into their hut, and Lakshman sat nearby, keeping a lonely whistle. Okay, that is where this chapter completes. So this is the chapter. Okay, the Rakshasi Shurpanakha. One desire of Shurpanakha. It made the entire Khara Dushna 14,000 demons fell to the ground. Now there are pile of flesh, food for the carnivorous animals and birds. Okay, and the devotees, if you have got any questions or any reflections or you wanted to share anything, kindly ask or kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So when you talk about that Garuda's nest nectar from the Indras, so that story about that Kadru and Dvanta, I just heard first time, Prabhu. It's really nice. And when we said sunrise at Aruna, so I first time I heard Prabhu. It's really nice. Thank you, Prabhu. And yes, that's 2 months when that yeah, when it came to kill the Rama, and then Rama was get so angry after that all the says that he's gonna finish in one go. So like was that one is so Prabhu. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I agree with Usha Mataji. I really found I had never heard of all that. So it was really nice to hear that other pastime as well. Is that something that, where can we find that? Would it be in, so it's come from obviously Valmiki Ramayana, is that correct?
Yeah, this is Valmiki Ramayana, yes.
Yes. So that other story of Kadru and all that. So that would be nice for me to read, for all of us to read again. So that was quite nice. And then the bit about Jatayu and Garuda, were they like uncle and nephew or cousins? I've forgotten. I don't know how they're related, because while you were telling the story, I thought maybe Jatayu fitted in there somewhere as well through some lineage. But I don't know if you can refresh the memory. That would be really good. Thank you so much. But otherwise, it's really nice, and what you covered about the relationship between husband and wife and all that was really nice as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So I think this story of Garuda, I think it is primarily in Mahabharata, and also in the Garuda Purana and different Puranas. It has been described some parts, and also in the Bhagavata Purana. But Mahabharata covers most part of it. And here coming to Jatayu, Jatayu is the vulture, and Jatayu and Sampati, they are brothers. Jatayu and Sampati. But Garuda is eagle, but they are of the same bird category.
Yes, I had heard that somehow they were related as well, even though they're different species. They were related.
So yes, Mataji. So in the previously, whenever Rama was addressing Jatayu when he has met, Jatayu was the nephew of Garuda. Jatayu's father, Aruna. Jatayu's father, Aruna. Aruna and Garuda, they are the brothers, isn't it? Jatayu's father was Aruna, was the brother of Garuda. Both Aruna and Garuda were sons of sage Kashyapa. So Jatayu is the nephew.
Yes, thank you.
And here Jatayu and his brother Sampati are the nephews, nephews of Garuda only. Okay. And that is their family structure. And second question, Mataji. So Kara come back in Treta Yuga to pay for the sins committed here. Could you please elaborate that question, Mataji?
No, I mean, maybe it was just an analogy you were using earlier, that Ram was saying that you would be slain, and you were describing about the hair that was pulled, the Draupadi's hair was pulled, and then how all the sinners' wives would also pay for that in their other life or something. So I thought maybe Khara was somehow in it somewhere as well. Maybe not.
I think so. Kara has killed so many of these ascetics. So here in this Arjuna is Draupadi. Let us see this one first of all. This story. So here Arjuna is describing, it was he, Krishna, only who loosened the hair of all wives of the miscreants, who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair, which had been nicely dressed and sanctified for the great Rajasi sacrificial ceremony. At that time, she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes. So here, this is what one little bit of pastimes. You wanted to read, Mataji, this one?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I did. There might be some background noise, but yeah. Queen Draupadi had a beautiful bunch of hair which was sanctified in the ceremonial function of Rajya Yagna. But when she was lost in a bet, Dushasan touched her glorified hair to insult her. Draupadi then fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna decided that all the wives of Dushasan and company should have their imprisoned as a result of the battle of Kurukshetra. Thus, after the battle of Kurukshetra, after all the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, all the wives of the family were obliged to lose their wives, became widows because of Dushasan's insulting a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord can tolerate insults upon himself by any miscreant because the Father tolerates even insults from the Son, but he never tolerates insults upon his devotees. By insulting a great soul, one has to forego all the results of pious acts and benedictions also. Thank you. Yes, thank you for covering this.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, this is the pastime of Draupadi, and here how Krishna acted. Here Arjuna is remembering the pastimes. पत्न्याः तवादिकमकक्लप्तमहाभिषेक श्लाघिष्टचारुकभरं कितवैः सभायां स्पृष्टं विकीर्य पदयोः परिताश्रुमुख्य यस्तत्श्रियो अकृतहेतेषु विमुक्तकेशाः अकृतहतेषु विमुक्तकेशाः. So beautiful shloka Arjuna mentioned to Yudhishthira to describe how Krishna has helped them. Okay, so this is Patnyaha Tavadimaka Klapta Mahabhisheka. Klapta Mahabhisheka. Slagishta Charuka Bharam Kitavaihi Sabhayam. Slagishta, it is glorified of Draupadi's hair. Charuka Bharam Kitavaihi Sabhayam. Sprustam Vikiri Padayoho Paritashurumukyaha. It is very nice to, whenever we are reciting these shlokas, understanding the gist of it, and Krishna is in the center of it. Okay, so the similar situation has happened here about Ramchandra is mentioning to Khara. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, any other pastime, any other sharings, dear devotees you wanted to share? Any questions, dear devotees you wanted to ask? Okay, so here let us, okay, Mataji is asking about the Garuda Purana. So here let us see what Garuda Purana describes about Kadru. Okay, we shall see that one. Usha Mataji is asking. I think let us see Vegetation Wall. Okay. Is that website open? Okay, that website is not open. Okay, let us go to the Garuda Purana in English. Let us see if there is available. Mahakavya. So it's Garuda Purana, it is in the mode of goodness for the devotees. Okay, let us see if it contains anything. Introduction, Garuda Purana story, large. Okay, I think it is books, it's buying of books. Okay. Okay, so here it comes the story, it looks. The introduction, account of miseries of the sinful in this world, the other account way of Yama, torments of Yama. Give length rights. Starts the details of afterlife. Okay, this is all punishments. I think devotees may go through about this different kinds of sinful life and then how they will be tortured. Okay, I think it is going to be a different one. Maybe we shall take it later on. I'll take it offline. Okay, and dear devotees, if you're happy, we can go to the next chapter. Ravana's lust is incited, and then just we'll start for today, and then we will continue further in the next week. Can I request Gauringi Mataji to read first two paragraphs, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. Ravana's loss is incited. There was one Rakshasa named Akampana who escaped from Rama. After seeing all his companions killed, Akampana fled to Lanka to inform Ravana of the news. Going before the Lord of the Rakshasa, who was the scourge, scourge of all created being and who took pleasure in giving pain to others. Akampana fell at his feet and said, O great king, your entire army, which was stationed in the Janasthana forest, to now no more. Even the mighty Khara and Dusana are dead. Only I have somehow survived. Ravana shook with anger when he heard this news. He gazed with his 10 heads at the disbelieved and fearful Rakshasa lying at his feet. The demon king rose up quickly from his golden throne. He was pitiless and raw, and he felt no compensation for the trembling uh, Akampana. As he spoke, he appeared about to consume Akampana in his rage, who with his life all but ended is responsible for this race act. He demanded, O weak Rakshasa, what fool would dare and antagonize Ravana? Even Indra, Kuvera, or the great Yamaraja would not be safe if they offended me. I can burn and kill even death himself. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now, whenever Ramchandra has killed all the 14,000 demons there, along with Kara and Dhoshana, so there, one of the demon Akampana, he fled to Lanka, informed Ravana of the news, what has happened here in the Janasthana, that place which is nearer to the Panchavati. So that is Janasthana forest. Okay, so now there are no more army, demonic army. Forest now, no more. Even the mighty Karandoshna are dead. Only I have somehow survived, and then he's informing the news. Okay, so as soon as Ravana has heard those news, and he gazed with his 10 heads at the disheveled and fearful Rakshasa lying at his feet. The demon king rose up quickly from his golden throne. He was pitiless and dogged, and he was felt no compassion for the trembling Akampana. As he spoke, he appeared about to consume Akampana in his rage, who with his life all but ended is responsible for this rash act. He demanded, "O weak Rakshasa, what fool would dare antagonize Ravana? Even Indra, Kuvera, and great Yamaraj would not be safe if they offended me. I can burn fire." So this is the Ravana. He cannot take the bad news immediately. Okay, so now that is okay. We are nearly at 8 o'clock, and the devotees, if you have got anything to kindly share, say what we can do, whether we can chant or we can continue with reading it, few more paragraphs, or we do something else, or we conclude.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Who is the Akampana? I never heard this name before, Prabhuji.
Accompany is the a person who he's one of the Karand Doshanas, one of his associates, Karand Doshana.
Okay. Khara and Dosanas.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Okay,
in
Prabhuji.
their party.
He demon.
A demon, yes, accompany.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
And there are two other people will also come into this PM. When Ramachandra has killed Putna in the beginning, Putna has got two children. One is the Marichi, and another one is the Subahu. So he has killed Maricha Diman. Sorry, he has killed Subahu, but Maricha was escaped from there, and he understood the power of Ramachandra. And now that Maricha, he became ascetic. Later on, he tried a couple of times, but to somewhere or other defeat. But he has seen Ramchandra, and then now, in the fear of Ramchandra, he became a saintly person and going somewhere and then meditating. Okay, so later on, that Maricha, he would give instructions to Ravanasura as well. Don't go to Ramachandra, don't go nearer to Ramachandra. Likewise, but Ravanasura does not take his words. That one we would also see it later. Okay, so at the moment, a company is relaying that message about Ramchandra, how he has killed Karanda Doshana. Any other
Hare
comment?
Krishna, Prabhu. So that when would that which person take that form as a deer when that
That is Maricha.
Marika? So
Yeah.
that he became a saintly person, then he also came to help Ravana. Is the same, Prabhu? Here?
So that Maricha, so now from here, now Akampana has informed the message to Ravanasura, but Ravanasura does not take it. He take it seriously, but he does not take any actions yet. But later
Okay.
on, Surpanakha also come, and she will instigate Ravanasura to inspire more and more, and to go and fight with Ramachandra.
Okay.
And then she will give a different angle of reflections. But there she will say that, "Oh Ravanasura, my dear brother, I went actually to get Sita so beautiful only for your sake. Uh, I wanted to get that beautiful woman for you, but here I could not get it." In such a way, she informed Ravanasura in such a way, she instigate Ravanasura's lusty more and more. And then he will become, say here, Surpanakha is doing all things. She made, first of all, she ruined herself, she disfigured herself, and then she made her brothers, Karan, Doshna, all 14,000 demons, they got died. And later on now, she will make entire Ravanasura's family. ruined. And finally, she will go to the Pushkara Kshetra and meditate for so many years to have Ramchandra as her husband. So generally, this is what it happens. The nature of the woman, did not. A man should not take the words of a woman seriously. That is in a higher level way. That's why they are treated under children, women, and the older people. There should be under the protection of a man, a grown-up man who can take care of them. And man should assess the things properly. So this is what Kirtihi Sri Vaksha Smritirmeda Dikshama. Krishna says that one. He would influence opposite persons. If something is happening through the woman, by one has to tolerate. One should not take decisions just because of that. He has to assess everything. Okay, so but here, whenever as soon as Shurpanakha has mentioned this Karan, Dosh, and all those are dead, and now later on, Ravanasura and everyone are dead. Finally, what happened to Shurpanakha? Again, this nature of woman is discussion between Narada and Brahma. It is described in the Brahma Mahapurana as well, where I have come across those conversations and how one has to treat women and what are different kinds of women are like that. Okay, so now so she instigate and later on she goes to the medicine. In the next life she became a Kubja and then she get the mercy of Krishna and later on she became a Gopi in the Goloka Vrindavan. All her pastimes. And what about the demons died because of her? Because it is not she is going to be the reason for everything. Everyone, she is just a reason, just a cause. Even in the past times of Mandara, she was used by the demigods to act as an instrument in that particular activity, so that Kaikeyi also. And later on they realized. Okay, later on they realized that, and also Kaikeyi, when she met Ramachandra said that, so do not worry, it is the plan of the demigods. On the will of Ramachandra only it has happened. And he revealed to Kaikeyi that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. Even Kaikeyi also addressed him as supreme personality of Godhead. It was known only between Kaikeyi and Ramchandra. And Rama has not revealed yet to everyone else openly, only to Kaikeyi at one instance. Okay, and similarly, Shurpanakha also here. In the next life, she became Gopi and then went to Goloka. And what happened to demons? They died. It is they have died because of their own sinful activities, not because of Shurpanakha. We cannot say, point, okay, this is the person for cause of my pains. When we point to that to opposite person, you are the reason for my pains and pleasures, then automatically you will be धर्मं ब्रवीषि धर्मज्ञो धर्मो शुरूपधृक् यद अधर्मकस्थानं सूचकस्यापि तद् भवेत्. If you point to the person who is adharmakasthanam, suchakasyapi, if you point to that, what happens? Then those rules also apply to you. One should not point that you are the reason for my problems. This is what dharma was in the form of a bull. It was being beaten by the Kali. But Dharma did not say that Kali is the reason for Dharma's problems. Parikshit, as a king, he has to assist by himself, even though Dharma is actually going through the pains for being beaten by the Kali Purusha, the cow and the bull. But Parikshit has to take decision because he is the authorized person to assess and take the decision. Okay, so one must be very careful about what is right, what is not right. what is my dharma, what is not my dharma. We never point to the opposite person. In a family, that one person is doing something, you are doing this one, I don't like it. You are the cause for my pains. But we cannot point to the opposite person. But as a father, as a mother, we can just chastise children when they are doing naughty things. That is because they are authorized. But it goes in a so much of scrutinizing way. Okay, but we need to go based on authorities only. Woman has to follow the instructions of the husband. Children have to follow the instructions of the father. Okay, then things will come properly. And disciples have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Okay, so now Akampana is just only a messenger, just give the message. But Ravanasura, his lust is not yet instigated until Shurpanakha comes, and she also adds some fuel to it. Okay. Okay, so any other questions? Mataji did, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for explaining.
Thank you, Mataji. That dharma is going very, very settled. So many places we see. That's why people who are learned, they go completely silent. Completely silent and execute the devotional service. If we speak Krishna Katha, that is all right. If it is not Krishna Katha, they do not speak anything at all. Okay, so anything else, dear devotees? Otherwise, we shall conclude and continue with further japa.
Prabhuji, how long did the war between Ram and Ravana last for, please? Is it just few days?
It's not just few days, but I think it goes more than, I think, so many days, Mataji. I don't
Okay,
remember
thank you.
exactly.
So it wasn't like years and years.
Yeah, so they have crossed the ocean within 5 days. Within 5 days, they have crossed the ocean so fast. It's that many, they have constructed a bridge within 5 days and then crossed that bridge. And later on, Ramchandra and all the company, they have stayed for some time and then sending messengers to Ravanasura about the peace. But Ravanasura did not agree. And I think it mentioned around 7 days, it looks. But we need to see actual at the end battlefield, last Yuddha Kanda. Okay, anything else, dear devotees?
Just one more. You know, the qualities that we are covering in teachings of Chaitanya Prabhu, uh, 64 qualities of Krishna.
Yes.
And then Lord Ram would have the same or slightly less, or
Yes,
qualities.
Rama also have got the same, but exhibition of those qualities by Krishna is more than Ramchandra. Ramchandra has exhibited some qualities, but not full. but these pastimes of gopis and so many other things. But Ramchandra, Krishna, they were not different, but exhibition of those qualities. But in Krishna, it is complete. In Ramchandra, it is not incomplete.
Yes, I understand. And then similar to that, one more question, that we say we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and we have His qualities, but not in quantity. So if we have His qualities, surely we can't be having all of those qualities in us, would we?
So for the living entity, out of 64 qualities, up to 50 qualities, up to 50, that is, all living entities can have a minute quantity of those 50 qualities. And above the 50 qualities, from 50 to 51 to 55, only Brahma and Shiva, they can have partial. And 56 to 60, only Narayana can have. And then 61 to 64, only Krishna has got those Madhurya Rasa, Venu, and this intimate relationship with the devotees, like that. Only Krishna has got. But up to 50 qualities, living entities have got a minute quantity. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has explained about 26 qualities in the 16th chapter, 1 to 3 shlokas. Abhyam sattvam siddhi jnana yoga vyavastitihi danam damashajnasya. So those things, the 26 qualities. But there are other qualities as well.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, any other questions? So, and there is, I think, for the pastimes of this Garuda, it is described somewhere in the Srimad Mahabharat in the Adi Parva, where Astika Parva is all. It is described Adi Parvam, and then there is Astika section. Okay, but in order to go there, okay, I can see a little bit of it. Kadra of swift speed. And soon with her, then again this story of, let me see. It's a, okay. Sacred text from, okay, I can see that one. This is the Mahabharata, and comes from sacred text. It comes in, it covers all 100,000 shlokas here. Mahabharata. Where is that one? Mahabharata. So Kadru story, it comes in the section like 22 to 23, something like Mahabharata Hinduism. So here in this Adi Parva, in the Adi Parva, there is a section of 23, something like 22. Sauti Muni has said, and then here Kadru and Vinita, the two sisters, Kadru and the daughters of Daksha, proceeded in great delight along with the sky to see the other side of the ocean. I don't know if the devotees wanted to read this one. What devotees say?
I don't know.
It's just only reading, but we don't have to go into detail. Just reading, if you can hear simply, that would be nice. Anyone would like to take a reading one chapter at a time?
Shall I start, Prabhuji?
So in this one, this is about the Amrita was churned ocean, okay, Ucheshra was beautiful, okay. It is comes, Mahabharata was described during the time when Janmejaya was performing this Sarpayaga. Janmejaya is the son of Parikshit Maharaj. During that time, Vaisampayana Rishi, he come and he describes Mahabharata. That was the first time. So story has already happened. Again, whenever it was spoken, so during that time, that is Janmejaya was doing. And there, the snakes and all those things, Sarpayaga, at the time, this Kadru and all those that story also was described. Anyone would like to read this one? But it's a long read, but we need to go very fast. But time is limited. As long I don't know how long you want to wait. David Mataji.
Only Prabhuji if you can.
Okay, Mataji.
I'll start and then you can stop me wherever you want me to.
Yes,
Okay.
read one chapter at a time. Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
yeah. So he says, thus have I recited to you the whole story of how Amrita was turned out of the ocean, and the occasion on which the horse Ucheswaras of great beauty and incomparable prowess was obtained. It was this horse about which Kadru asked Vinita, saying, tell me, amiable sister, without taking much time, of what color Ucheswaras is. And Vinita answered, that prince of state, that prince, that prince of steeds is certainly white. What dost thou think, sister? Say thou what is its color. Let us lay a wager upon it. Kadri replied, then, O thou of sweet smiles, I think that horse is black in its tail. Uh, Duteous one, bet with me that she who loseth will become the other's slave. So they continued, thus wagering with each other about menial service as a slave, the sisters went home and resolved to satisfy themselves by examining the horse next day. And Kadru, bent upon practicing a deception, ordered her 1,000 sons to transform themselves into black hair and speedily cover the horse's tail in order that she might not become a slave. But her sons, the snakes, refusing to do her bidding, she cursed them, saying, during the snake sacrifice of the wise king Janmajaya of the Pandava race, Agni shall consume you all. And the grandsire Brahman himself heard this exceedingly cruel curse pronounced by Kadru, impelled by the faith, and seeing that the snakes had multiplied exceedingly, the grandsire, moved by kind consideration for his creatures, sanctioned with all the gods this curse of Kadru. Indeed, as the snakes were of virulent poison, great prowess, and excess of strength, and ever bent on biting other creatures, their mother's conduct towards them, those persecutors of all creatures, was very proper for the good of all creatures. Fate always inflicts punishment of death on those who seek the death of other creatures. The gods, having exchanged such sentiments with one another, supported Kadru's action and went away. And Brahman, calling Kashyapa to him, spake unto him these words, O thou pure one, who overcomest all enemies, these snakes begotten by you, who are of virulent poison and huge bodies, and ever intent on biting other creatures, have been cursed by their mother. O son, do not grieve for it in the least. The destruction of the snakes in the sacrifice hath indeed been ordained long ago. Saying this, the divine creator of the universe comforted Kashyapa and imparted to that illustrious one the knowledge of neutralizing poison. And so ends the 20th section of the Astika Parva of the Adi Parva. Prabhuji, this was like Shakespeare language, the way it was written.
Yes, Mataji, it is very nice, but here, because it is surrounding with Mahabharata, it is a Mahabharata is again pastime of Krishna, but it is diluted. Krishna's pastime comes very in the later sections. Okay, it is all setting the scene here. Okay, moving to the next. It is story, but we wanted to see uh, those Krishna's pastimes. But here, how the snakes were cursed by Kadru, they will. Okay, so this is again going through. Who would like Asha Mataji? Would you like to read this chapter, Mataji?
So he said, Then when the night had passed away, and the sun had risen in the morning, O thou whose wealth is asceticism, the two sisters, Katru and Vinayata, having laid in a wager about slavery, went with hustle and impatient to view the street Uchainaswaras from a new point. On their way, they saw the ocean, that receptacle of waters vast and deep, rolling and tremendously roaring, full of fishes large enough to swallow the whale, and abandoning with huge makaras and creatures of various forms by thousands, and rendered inaccessible by the presence of other terrible monster-shaped, dark, and fierce aquatic animals, abounding with tortoises and crocodiles, the mine of all kind of gems, the home of Varuna, the water god, the excellent and beautiful residence of Nagas, the lord of all rivers, the abode of the subterranean fire, the friend or asylum of the Asuras, the terror of all creatures, the grand reservoir of water, and ever immutable ever immutable. It is wholly beneficial to the gods, and it is the great source of nectar, without limits, inconceivable, sacred, and highly wonderful. It is dark, terrible with the sound of aquatic creatures, tremendously roaring, and full of deep whirlpools. It is an object of terror to all creatures, moved by the winds blowing from the shores and heaving high, agitated, and disturbed. It seems to dance everywhere with uplifted hand, represented by its surges, full of swelling billows caused by the waxing and waning of the moon, the parent of Vasudeva's great conch called Panjajani, the great mines of gems. Its waters were formerly disturbed in consequence of the agitation caused within them by the Lord Govinda of immeasurable powers, which he had assumed the form of wild bow of raising the submerged earth. Its bottom, lower than the nether regions. The vow observing regenerate Rishi Arti could not fathom after toiling for 100 years. It becomes it becomes the bed of the lotus naveled Vishnu when at the termination of every yuga, that deity of immeasurable power of enjoys yoga nidra, the deep sleep under the spell of spiritual meditation. It is the refuge of Mainaka, fearful of falling thunder, and the retreat of the Asuras, overcome in fierce encounters. It offers water as sacrificial butter to the blazing fire issuing from the mouth of Varana, the ocean mare. It is fathomless something without limits, vast and immeasurable, and the Lord of rivers. And they saw that unto is rushed mightily rivers by thousand with proud gait like amorous competitors, each eager for meeting it, forestalling the others. And they saw that it was always full and always dancing in its waves. And they saw that it was deep and abandoning with fierce whales and macaras. And it resounded constantly with the terrible sounds of aquatic creatures. And they saw that it was vast and wild as the expanse. Page 64 of space unfurther and unfathomable and limitless, and the grand reservoir of water. And so ends the 21st section in the Astika Parva of the Adi Parva. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
I didn't understand anything. It's quite hard.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, this is like a waters, descriptions of the water, and also we see Panchajanya, Krishna's conch shell, a great mine of gems. It is also there, and this waters was agitated by Varahadeva pastimes. And then here, in the bottom of those waters, in the lower than the nether regions, the observing regenerate Rishi Atri Maharshi was also there. And also it becomes the bed of the lotus navel Vishnu and the termination of every yoga, that deity of immeasurable power enjoys yoga nidra. So the Lord, it is about describing about the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Okay, so this is description of all these oceans, and also there are some parts I'll describe, but this is Varuna Loka, subterranean Varuna, the home of Varuna, water god. It is called Vibhavari. And also the excellent and beautiful residents of the Nagas. Everything in this is oceans. It is whatever we say little bit, but there are so many things. Prabhupada was used say that whatever we see on the earth, it is very few living entities, but in the waters it contains lots of things. Okay, these are all we can see here in these descriptions. Okay, and all of their abodes are also in the waters, subterranean for a friend of us, the asuras. And sometimes we may be seeing the fire comes from the waters, the oceans. It is called Badabagni. Uh, Badabagni. There are different kinds of fires. One is the fire in the tummy, Jataragni, and fire in the forest, Davagni, and fire in the oceans, it is Badabagni. And different things. Again, the fire in our temple, the lamps that we see, deepas, candles. So that is one kind of fire. Again, if we go into the Agni Devata family tree, there are so many things we would see across. Okay, so everything, so this is Mahabharat, it is vast. It is vast. There is no comparable literature. Vyasadeva describes there is nothing which is not in the Mahabharat. Who knows Mahabharat completely? Then they know everything. Okay, so but it is yet diluted. It is spread or entire 100,000 shlokas. and different parvas have been described. So, but here we wanted to see the essence of this one. Only Krishna, we wanted to see Krishna and his pastimes. That is called uh, the cream of it. It is milk and cream is Krishna. We wanted only the cream. Do you like to go further reading by the sense of reading? How you feel, dear devotee? So, but this is for Stri Sudra Dvijabandhu now. For the Mahabharata is meant for those people.
Yes, we heard that statement many a time recently in Bhagavatam as well. But I'm happy to stop here, Prabhuji, because I'm sure you must be busy as well. But I will let other people decide as well. But I'm happy to do whatever the people decide. Thank you.
Okay, sure, Mataji. So here, in a summary, what happens? The challenge between kind of information between conversations between Vinata and Kadru. So it is kind of whether the tail of the Ucheshirava, the Ashwa, that horse, is it white or black? That is the only thing. Vinata normally says it is because it is white, it is white. But Kadru says that there is a dark thing. But actually, there is no dark thing. She made a plan that her children will go and do something for her. I mean, she cheats. In such a way, she made Vinata as her servant, maid servant. Okay, later on, that will be revealed. All these pastimes come, and then later on, when Garuda he comes, it is elaborately described. But we need to go through all these things to understand each and every minute of those things. Okay, but you know where it is. So this is sacred-text.com, and then you would see. I shall also send this link to you in the chat. You can continue reading on this. Okay, thank you so much. If you're all happy.
The bit about the maid servant reminded me of Yayati and that pastime as well. It
Yes,
wasn't quite as similar, but there again, the friend becomes the maid servant. Devhuti, wasn't it? No,
Devayani and Seri.
Devyani, Chitra, Chitra,
Serimishta.
yeah, sorry.
Serimishta is the daughter of the king, and Devayani is the daughter of Sukracharya. And Sukraj here, Yayati and Devayani, they wanted to get married. And later on, so before that pastime, whenever Yayati was going, here Devayani and her friends, Serimishta and other friends, they're all just taking a bath in the pond. So during the time, Devayani is the daughter of a Brahmana, Serimishta daughter of a king. And just because they have kept their clothes on the shore of the lake, because the clothes are mixed, and there, it was not a big thing, but Mr. clothes were needed to and overlapped with the Devyanis. And then Devyani came and they would say, it is a Brahmana, and how can this Kshatriya's clothes can be overlapped with my clothes? So, and then the conversation happens. Within those conversations, Mr. just pushed her into that well, into the waters. And then Sharmishta goes, she takes her clothes and then goes back. But Devyani was in the waters. At the time, the Yayati came there, and then she understands, he understands that someone is here, and then the Devyani is there, and then he gave his clothes to Devyani, and later on, there they fell in love, and Devyani wanted to get married because Yayati touched her in order to lift her from the waters. And then that message was informed to Sukracharya. Sukracharya, even though it is the Viloma marriage, that means Brahmana woman is marrying to lower caste, that is Kshatriya. But on the order of Sukracharya, it happened. But in order to punish, she wanted to take revenge on the Sarmista, Devayani, and she wanted to make her maid servant. And then Sukracharya, whenever it was informed, Sukracharya went to the king, and then he was very angry. But in order to please Sukracharya, the king has said, "What can I do?" Then, as per request of Devayani, so without hesitation, the king has sent Sarmista as the servant of Devayani. And then Devayani married to Yayati and living in the kingdom. At the same time, Sarmista is also servant. Later on, when Devayani has got begotten children, but Sarmista also wanted to have children, and then she approached the king, Yayati, that I also desire. But as whenever a woman comes to a king to for the sake of children, that is the dharma of a Kshatriya. So he has also blessed her with the children, Sarmista still with the children. And later on, when she begot children, that information came to again Devyani, and she went to her father. And then later on, Sukracharya, he cursed Yayati that you lose your um, the the masculine stuff. Then whatever Yayati, you will become old and impotent. You cannot have any meat with you cannot enjoy anymore as a man. And then Yayati came again, he asked for forgiveness. And then again, Sukrachari, he was somewhere other convinced. And then he said that if you can take the youth of your children, then you can enjoy again. And Yayati mentions, I have not yet satiated enjoying with Devayani. And then he takes the youth of one of his child, that is, I think it is the Puru. And then Puru gave his youth, and because of that, later on, Yayati realized it, and then again he has given his youth back after 2000 years of his enjoyment. He gave the youth back to his child Puru, and Puru has got a blessing that he would become the king. That is where the Kuru Vamsha is inherited. So they can become the kings. But out of those, Yayati's child, it is Yadu, he did not agree to it, but because he was a devotee, he wanted to use that all of that youth for the service of the Lord. Okay, for that one, he was not blessed with a kingly inheritance. Okay, that is another pastimes of Sarmista and Devayani. So just went into a bit more detail. So yes, that is again the womanly nature. Sarmista and Devayani, here Vinata and Kadru. If we take one little bit of peace, it will taking us to so many pastimes. Thank you, Devi.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. So nice, Prabhu, to hear that Kadru and Vinita's and then it links to the service time there and his past time, Prabhu. So nice. Thank you very much, Mataji, for asking all the questions. And yeah, Prabhu is explaining beautifully. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, if you're all happy, dear devotees, Mataji, and then we can conclude our session and we continue this Ramayana. So next next Sunday, uh, how the Ravanasura got instigated by Shurpanakha, we would see further. And then for now, we continue with further japa. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि गोविंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
Hare
हरे कृष्ण
Krishna. Thank you,
पंचायत
Prabhu. Yeah, we can say Hari Bol to Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Haribo, Haribo.
Thank you so
All the
much.
messages you are kindly hearing, but
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay, I'll rest to you. Okay, so we shall पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य